2:30, we got number 11 Kentucky traveling to number 1 Georgia. Georgia favored by 21.5 points on CBS. Kentucky's undefeated right now. Not something many people expected. I called it about them being an underrated team. They had a 45-10 win against UL Monroe, then 35-28 win against Mizzou, 28-23 win against Chattanooga, then 16-10 win at South Carolina. And this was that 2-game stretch where they barely beat Chattanooga and then they barely beat South Carolina. That was like Kentucky's undefeated, but not one of the better teams in the nation that are undefeated. But then they absolutely stunned everyone with their 20-13 win over then number 10 Florida. And then they won last week with a 42-21 win over LSU, but that's what most people expected, knowing how horrible LSU is this year. Will Levis last week, he's not asked to do much in this offense, went 14-17, threw for 145 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Cross Rodriguez Jr. is really the bell cow, although they do use Smoke a decent amount, and they kind of use him as dual tandem, but he had 16 carries for 147 yards and a touchdown. And Wan'Dale Robinson had 8 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. Number 1, Georgia. Everyone knows how good their season has been. The defense is averaging I read somewhere 5.5 points per game. That's what they're giving up per game, and you can see it with the stats. They won 10-3 against number 3 Clemson at the beginning of the year. Although obviously that win does not mean as much as it did at the time. Then they had the 56-7 win against UAB, the 40-13 win against South Carolina, the 62-0 win at Vandy. Then they had the 37-0 win against number 8 Arkansas at home, and then they had the 34-10 win at number 18 Auburn. Shows you how great this Georgia team is. This was without their even starting quarterback. Stetson Bennett went 14-21 last week for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Zamir White had 18 carries on the ground for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Ladd McConkey had 5 catches for 135 yards and a touchdown. It just shows you though that Georgia's defense has been so dominant, but Kentucky's defense has also been really good. So I think this could be kind of a defensive slugfest. Kentucky's only 12-60 against Georgia all time. 11-game win streak for Georgia. Georgia's won 27 out of the last 30. And the deck stacked against Kentucky. But if you remember, in the past couple of years, even when Georgia's had teams that they think are national championship caliber teams, Kentucky gives them somewhat of a fight, and it's really confusing. Normally they can't get anything going on offense, but the final score is like 13-3 or something insane like that. Kentucky defense is always good with Mark Stoops coaching it. That's why I think I'm going to take Kentucky to cover here, but Georgia to win outright, stay in that number 1 spot.